Hey, what's up, you guys? Bloody Jacob here to bring you another movie review. This time we're going to be talking about a movie that just came out today called Hacksaw Ridge, which was directed by Mel Gibson and stars Andrew Garfield, Vince Vaughn, as well as Sam Worthington and Hugo Weaving, just to name a few, as well as Teresa Palmer, who I also just seen in Lights Out, so that's a pretty ironic thing. Anyway, I wanted to see this movie tonight with my father, and it was a really, really good movie to see with your dad, I think. You know, my dad was always, into war movies, and I seen, a handful of them growing up and such. And of course, being a big fan of Andrew Garfield ever since I seen him play Spider-Man, I was really eager to see him in another role that could really show his talent. And me personally, I wish I would have kept Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man. But I'm glad he got a role like this to really show off what he can do. I'm glad he got another chance to show his stuff. And Hacksaw Ridge, it was a very, very good movie. I really enjoyed it. The trailer for it looked great, a few months ago, and I think it definitely delivered on it for the most part. It's a pretty simple setup, really. It is based off of a true story, which just makes it even more impactful, really. It's a story of Desmond Doss, and he was a Christian conscientious objector who refused to bear arms. He was awarded the Medal of Honor by President Harry S. Truman for single-handedly saving the lives of over 75 of his comrades while under constant enemy fire during the Battle of Okinawa in World War II. Of course, with Japanese and such. So, again, like I said, the fact that it's actually based on a true story and event that happened and something that someone actually did just makes it all the more, incredible to see happen, really. It's a bit of a slow start, before we get to the, battle and everything. We see Desmond meeting, Dorothy. But this does go to play into, what's sort of driving a little bit later into the movie as well, besides his faith, also his love for her. And we also see a really different perspective from his father, played by Hugo Weaving. And, Hugo Weaving's character, Desmond's father, he had fought in the war himself previously, so he has a lot of, probably PTSD, and, you hear stories how from when he came back from the war, he was very bitter, and, it caused him to be a bit abusive to his family. But as the movie goes, you can sort of, you get to understand and sympathize with him a little bit more. And then he actually does stand up for Desmond at one point and delivers a letter that actually does help him out quite a bit. We also had Nathaniel Boslick as his brother in the movie, Hal. And Nathaniel Boslick, of course, plays Finn Michelson in the originals on the CW, so it's cool to see him in this. Although I thought he was going to be in it quite a bit more than he was, but still cool to see him nonetheless. And of course, the highlight of the movie definitely is Andrew Garfield. I can see why he's already getting, well, there's already rumblings about him getting an Oscar for this. He's very good in this. I thought he was great as Spider-Man, but this shows his true acting chops for sure. He nails the accent, I thought. It's the voice of the guy. I thought he worked that pretty well. And he just gets to show a lot of emotion. You really start to believe in the guy. At first he comes off a little bit, comedic type, but as the movie goes, he's a really inspiring person, on screen and off, of course. But Andrew Garfield's portrayal really showed all that very well, I think. And Vince Vaughn was even very good in the movie. He's definitely known for being more of a comedic actor. Not one of my personal favorites either, but he was also very, very enjoyable in this movie too, I thought. He played the sergeant, the sergeant. He has one of the funniest scenes in the movie, though, and he's just, drilling every guy as he goes down the road, and he just lays into him and just basically insults him every way he can. And of course, the guys in that situation can't talk back to him, But it came off pretty well, and it had most of the theater I was in laughing, and I didn't expect to laugh that much during this movie, but Vince Vaughn nailed it there, but not just for the comedical aspects either, but he also turned into a pretty likable character himself. He was kind of one of the first ones to really sympathize a little bit more with Desmond's perspective. So I like that too. He also had Sam Worthington as the captain in the movie. He was alright, I know Sam Worthington doesn't have the greatest reputation as an actor. He was in Clash of the Titans and stuff like that. He did alright in this movie. I thought he served his purpose pretty well. And I did like Teresa Palmer as Dorothy. I thought she was pretty good for the role she had too. And I can't remember the name, but there's also this guy in his unit that was very opposed to his beliefs at first. A lot of the movies built around how the men see him, and at first they see him like as this coward, as this chicken shit who isn't willing to pick up a rifle and fire for his country. But when he actually shows how much he means what he's saying, it really starts to turn around, and there's this character in the movie who really starts to grow respect for him. They have this camaraderie between the two of them until he is unfortunately killed. And like I said, the film is very impactful and inspiring, especially when you see Desmond carrying out everyone one after the other, and pretty great sequence. The music for it was also very good. The first part of the movie comes off a bit lighter, before he actually goes into the battle. You see him falling in love with Dorothy, you see a bit of his home life and such, although the stuff with his father's a little bit more grim, until it kind of becomes a little bit better as it goes. But when they get to their battlefield, when they get to the Battle of Okinawa, when they get over that ridge, and you see the first death, the first kill, that I unfortunately all bear witness to, it just completely changes the tone. It becomes intense as hell, and the action and violence in the movie I thought was pretty realistic to what happened in that event. I thought it felt all very grounded and accurate to what it would actually be like. So Mel Gibson, I know he's a kind of controversial guy, but as a director, he did very good in this. With just the way the scenes were shot and just the tone of it all, I thought it worked very well. It was very fitting for what story they're trying to tell. So I really, really like this movie. There's not too much more to talk about it as far as story goes. But like I said, Andrew Garfield delivered. He was very good. I can definitely see him winning an award for this. He definitely deserves it. Vince Vaughn was even very good in the movie. Sam Worthington was fine. Hugo Weaving was very good. I thought he showed the layers to the father character quite well, given that he wasn't actually in that many scenes. But yeah, I really liked him too. And like I said, the action was all very intense. You could feel it. So yeah, I really like this one. I'm going to give about an A-, so about a 9 out of 10, maybe 8.9 B+. But I'd say it's definitely worth seeing. It's one of the best war movies I've seen. Of course, everyone really likes things like Saving Private Ryan and We Were Soldiers and stuff. I also liked Glory with Denzel Washington, Matthew Broderick. But I'd say it's one of the finer war movies I've seen. I can definitely see how it's garnering as much praise as it is. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this quick video. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, subscribe. I'll catch you guys next time. Most likely to review Van Helsing and all the other shows that are airing this weekend, as well as probably reviewing Doctor Strange sometime next week or so when I'm able to see it. Catch you guys next time, and peace.